Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 23rd of January. This is for the Sun or the Ascendant. As ever, I'm going to give you the standout features of this week that we can all relate to collectively, but please stay with me. I will then dive deep to give you in forensic detail all the zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces. If you're a returning viewer to my channel, thank you so much for joining me once more. If you're new to me, it's great to have you with me. If you'd care to like or subscribe or comment, you're very welcome. This is very much a community and it's wonderful to have you with me. Now this week does see one of the standout aspects in astrology, the Sun in an alliance with Jupiter. Jupiter in the sign of Aries is very much about new beginnings and freshness. In the sign of Aquarius, the Sun, Venus and Saturn is very much about the collective. It's how we interact and network, it's our friendships, but also our longer term planning. Because last Saturday there was a new moon in Aquarius, which is also feeling the energy of Pluto, the planet of great change, it may feel as if this is a really historic time for many of us. So what does it mean, that aspect between the Sun and Jupiter? I think it can be when we supercharge our longer term plans in a way which feels right for us now. We very often will have hopes, but when we get to that point where we achieve what we set out to do, we realise that we've actually shifted. And I think there can be a little bit of that this week. But Mercury, the planet of communication, is still forging a jarring angle to Mars. Mercury wants us to slow things down and examine possibilities in a very thorough and step-by-step way. It's in the earthy sign of Capricorn. Mars in Gemini wants things to go quick, very quick. But later this week, Mercury actually forges a brilliant link with Uranus, which will help us to embrace things that can speed up. Also, from Monday to Wednesday, Venus and Saturn are still within 3 degrees of one another, and they're asking us to think very carefully about the quality of our alliances. Now, Saturn can either be a cold and limiting influence or a very stabilising one. So we may find ourselves asking some key questions about close relationships, particularly as Venus moves into the sign of reflection of Pisces on Friday. Now there is a quarter moon as this week draws to a close. As much as the sign of Aquarius is very idealistic, the sign of Taurus is very realistic. And there may be something that we just need to make sure it stays in kilter between those two areas. As much as we'd like life to be a certain way, it is as it is. But then at the same time, that doesn't mean to say we can't apply our values and standards to that reality. And that's really what I feel is coming to the fore as this week draws to a close. Now, if you would like to ascend above this zodiac broadcast and understand what the next year will hold for you as an individual, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place of birth, I can give you your forecast, plus in my special package, your life roadmap analysis. This will help you to understand your astrological influences at a much more intimate level. Seize upon the ones that give you possibilities, but also work out some that have snagged you over time. There's 30% off. Please see the link below. And in my special package, you also get your free Zodiac, Vedic and Chinese forecasts for 2023. So Capricorn, your week commencing the 23rd of January forecast sees the Sun in house 2, your sense of self, your worth, your foundations, your love of good food, good wine, perhaps money, and also Jupiter, the planet of growth, optimism, good fortune, linking in your sector of the home, suggests if you have been making some changes to your property, despite the fact that the general financial climate has seen perhaps valuations decline and the cost of rentals go up, I feel there may be something that you've done gives you a sense of satisfaction. Maybe it's just going to be a lovely exchange with someone close to you who really appreciates your generosity and warmth, or you do theirs. There's some kind of mutual empathetic uplift that can occur, or it could be some kind of generosity in a financial context. Now, Venus obviously combining with Saturn suggests that the finance side of your situation could be limited a little bit by Saturn. I think it might be a case of if you set yourself an intention at the turn of the year to be a bit more disciplined about what you eat and drink, and it's actually proved a bit difficult to adhere to, like with most of us, maybe Saturn, your ruler, is just reminding you that if you do have some calorific goodies, you may at another level be a bit cross with yourself, but may still find them irresistible. If that sounds like you, it certainly sounds like me. So that is possible. But it's also possible that the value of yourself or how you relate to somebody has just a sense of worth that's really structured and sound, and that actually really appeals to that earthy side of your nature. Then again, it could be a cost that comes up that's linked to possibly a close relationship, or maybe something that you have tried out financially. Perhaps you'll just realise, no, that isn't for you. You're going to need to move on. But I think generally with the Sun forging such a positive link to Jupiter, there is the potential for uplift around how you feel about yourself or your finances. But Mercury in your sign, now going forwards, still angles in a quincunx with Mars, now going forwards in the part of your situation to do with hard work, application and sacrifice. But Mercury in your sign is asking you to focus on what's good for you, the individual. So you could find yourself a little bit conflicted about how to handle one situation, but the solution can provide itself later in the week when Mercury then moves forwards and links brilliantly to Uranus. And Uranus has been really surprising you in recent years. You have this reputation of being such a solid citizen, a great sense of humour, very good at managing things, which is all true, but maybe a little bit, safe and sometimes attracted to only things that are more established. Well, that just isn't true, because your natal horoscope will have potentially influences from Sagittarius or Aquarius, and of course your ascendant could be something that's much more playful. So it's not quite as simple as some would say, but I do feel that Mercury's link with Uranus can just push you to be a little bit more zany, try something that's completely fresh, and actually it can feel really good, particularly if you are someone who does fit that more traditional conservative archetype of the sign of Capricorn. But Venus moving Friday suggests that there can be some important conversations over the next 28 days. Of course, March itself is just a huge month at so many levels, but there can be some pleasant interactions that come from that. The quarter moon, however, on Saturday just urges you not to be too free and easy with resources. The fifth, second house could see you tempted to splash out on something and just get the urge to do it, or it could be someone close to you actually asks you for some kind of financial assistance, and you may feel that it's better just remind them that their finances are their responsibility, not yours. Thank you so much for joining me, and goodbye.